Bam! What's up, fellas and ladies, everyone? Gonna do a little unboxing today. That's right, MTB unboxing. And it's gonna be more than that. It's gonna be a freshwater unboxing and a saltwater unboxing. That's right, they do saltwater, in case you didn't know. I'm excited about this. Let me first tell you a little bit about Mystery Tackle Box. First of all, Mystery Tackle Box is awesome, and here's why. It gives you lures each month that you might not have ever known about. It's an unbelievable value, and it's actually taught me a lot about different lures that I had no idea about. There's lots of cool things in these boxes. So each month you get a new box, you open it up, there's all kind of cool things inside that catch fish. And let me tell you, their stuff is legit. They're using high quality stuff. It's a very awesome value, so it's good. It's good. And we're gonna drop a link in the description down below, and you can cancel anytime. So it's a very simple process, and it is worth it, well worth it. People ask me all the time, should I do the MTB box? Absolutely. This one right here is the Pro. They have an Elite, and then they have a regular box. I like the Pro box and the Elites myself. Lots of cool stuff. I mean, a couple boxes ago, I don't even know how they put all that stuff in there. They had Lucky Craft lures. They had super expensive stuff that works. So it's awesome. So here's what we did. We took this box, we went fishing. That's right. We caught fish on lures in this box. So first of all, I'm gonna run through the unboxing, show you what's in the box, and I'm gonna explain to you some do's and don'ts on the lures that are inside this box and the saltwater box. So get a piece of paper out, get ready to write down some good things, because it's all about those little things that make a huge difference in fishing. You know, you can tie on any lure, on any rod, and it might not be set up on the right length. It might not be set up on the right size line. There's all these little things you need to learn about what rods, what line, and how to retrieve, and certain little things about lures in general to help you catch more fish. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dive into this box and tell you what I think is the best way to set these things up. So first, let's jump right into it. How about that? I love that. I love that sound effect. Did you like that sound effect? I think I love it. Tons of stuff in the box. All right, how about that little Bass Dynasty? This is a little Dyna Paddle. It's unique, very unique. Now this is pretty cool. What it is, basically, wacky rig. You're gonna hook this wacky style with a small hook. When I say small, I mean like a little size, like a little 1/0 drop shot hook. You're gonna throw this most likely on a spinning rod, and I tell you a really good tip on the spinning rod setup. I like to throw light baits, especially wacky rigs, on spinning rods with braid. I use the P-line, either 10 or 15 pound test braid, and I'll put a double uni knot to maybe a 10 to a 15 pound fluorocarbon leader, depending on where I'm fishing. And that allows me to throw this thing really, really good. It's pretty awesome. It has actually like little swimming tails, like a little Kitech tail on both ends of the worm. And as this thing falls down through the water, it has a lot of action, and fish love that. Especially on days, here's when I throw a wacky worm. On those days at high pressure, maybe a place that has a lot of fishing pressure, the fish aren't really that active, things like this work really, really well. Okay, again, spinning rod, braid, little small hook, like a little drop shot hook. You don't want to throw a big giant worm hook in this. It's not going to work right. You're not going to want to throw this on a big heavy duty bait caster. Now you can throw it on a light bait caster. That would work as well. This little color right here, little June bug looking thing, works great just about anywhere you go. And that's a really cool thing. So let me show you a couple clips real quick of some bass we caught on this little dude right here. Check this out. Got him. Got him on the Dyna Paddle doodle worm. I don't know what this thing's called, but it's pretty cool. Different.
Do it. See if that works.
Oh my God. Try it in here real quick. I'll get one more on this little worm. You can cast a little bit. There he is. Dyna Paddle. So that's how I'm rigging that thing up, basically on a little wacky worm hook. That's actually a little trocar wacky worm, weedless. Pretty cool stuff, huh? I mean, that thing works. I like it. And again, what's neat about MTB is I might not have ever bought this right here, okay? It's an interesting bait, to say the least. So, awesome deal. That's cool. That's number one. All right, let's see what else is in here. spinnerbait. Brandon, all you got to do is put a worm on it, my friend, and you got a spinner worm, okay? This works right here all over the country, all year long. Spinnerbaits are an absolute staple to bass fishing. Now, what do I like to do on spinnerbaits? How do I like to rig spinnerbaits up? I like to throw spinnerbaits on bait casters, typically. I like to fish them on a little bit heavier line. When I say a little bit heavier line, 15 to 17, even 20 pound test line. Fluorocarbon, P-line fluorocarbon is what I throw. This little spinnerbait right here is pretty awesome. Chartreuse and white. Little silver blade, little nickel colored blade, and a little gold colored blade. This bait right here would work awesome on cloudy days or windy days, days that you want to cover a lot of water. That's when I throw a spinnerbait. It's kind of the opposite of this, right? This is kind of your sunny day, the fish aren't really biting day, and I'm not moving around a whole lot day. This is, I'm on the trolling motor, I'm trying to find fish. It's cloudy, it's windy, fish are active, there's bait in the area. Spinnerbaits are key for that type of stuff. So when you want to fish low and slow, fish that. When you want to cover some water, you fish this spinnerbait right here. Really good stuff. Bam! How about that? The Exo Swim Bait 4-inch. Now this is a versatile little dude right here. What am I going to do with this? I'm basically going to rig this up on an open hook, like a 4/0 EWG. Reel it through the water column close to the surface. I can put it on the back of a spinnerbait. I can put it on a jig head and fish it down through the water column. There's so many different things that I can do with this bait, and it works really, really good. Now here's what I like to rig up on this. I like a little bit bigger rod with this. I'm gonna fish more like a 7-foot, medium heavy to heavy, even a flipping stick, just depends on how big of a head I'm gonna have on this. Line size, you know, it kind of depends, anywhere from say 12 to 15 pound test. I don't go real heavy on my swim baits, a swim bait this size especially. If you put too heavy a line on, it really kind of impedes the action. The line diameter on the thicker line will make the bait rise a little unnatural. So you want the bait to kind of stay neutral no matter what depth you're reeling it in. And that, say, 12 to 15 pound line, even 10 at times, is probably your best choice with that. You can throw it on a spinning rod, it's not a problem. Or if you're down here like at Lake Okeechobee back in the thick grass, you can throw it on straight braid. So this little bait right here, it's a fish catcher for sure. This is something that you can fish pretty much year round and catch a lot of fish on it. Offset hook. Now what would I use this hook for? Just about anything. You could put it in this swim bait, you could fish a regular Texas rig worm with it. Lots of different things that you can do on this hook right here. Matter of fact, my boy Jay Yellis is on the back. This is his specially designed hook. I've never personally fished with this hook, but it's got a good look to it. I think this hook would work well. Again, your standard Texas rig stuff, swim baits like the Exo Swim Bait, lots of different things you can do with this hook, and it's the perfect size for your baits in this range right here. You're wondering what's in the box, right? So like another little unboxing. How about this right here? Boom. Dobbins makes this, Gary Dobbins. This is basically a little nail weight. This little toy right here, you'd stick in the end of any of your favorite little plastic worms. Now I like the Slim Shake, the Guggen baits. I would put that in the end of it, rig it up on a little drop shot hook, fish it kind of wacky rig, but this weight right here will pull it down to the bottom. It's a really great way to add just a little bit of weight to your weightless style worms. Again, your wacky rigs, your Slim Shakes, anything like that, you can basically do a little nail weight in this. And it's a nice little setup. It has little ridges right here. Let's keep that nail up in that worm. Really, really good. I have my tackle box full of little nail weights like this because there's always times that you can use them just to add a little bit of weight. And what's really cool with this, this is a 3/32, you can actually break this off in little sections. So if you didn't want this much weight, but you just wanted a little bit less, break a little off and good to go. So that's a nice little pack right here. This is a must-have for anybody that fishes a lot. It's something that you're going to use a lot. Rip knocker. I like it. Let's open it up and check it out. Now basically this is a lipless crankbait. Okay, lipless crankbaits work year-round. I really like them in the fall and I really like them in the summertime, especially around submerged vegetation. I catch a lot of fish, like at Gunnersville, here at Lake Okeechobee. Just catch a lot of fish on a lipless crankbait. Look at the paint job on that thing. Pretty awesome. Perfect size. You can do a lot with this bait. I like to throw it around, again, grass and flats. I'm not gonna throw this bait out in deep water. I'm not gonna get out in open water in 15, 20 foot of water and chunk this thing around. Lipless crankbaits are designed to fish basically between 3 and 6 feet through the water column, okay? I like to rig it up on 15-pound test. Don't ask me why, but I'm telling you, 15-pound fluorocarbon P-line, for me, I get more bites with 15 than anything else. If you put too heavy a line on a lipless crankbait, you're gonna make that bait lift a little bit more in the water column, which at times can be good if the grass is really thick, but I think it really impedes the vibration quite a bit. And if you throw too light a line, it's just going too deep. It just doesn't have the right amount of resistance through the water. Occasionally I'll throw it on straight braid if I'm on a place like Gunnersville or Lake Okeechobee or some of the lakes in Texas that have a lot of submerged vegetation. I'll throw it on straight braid, but for the most part, 15-pound fluorocarbon. Don't ask me why, just trust me on this one. 7-foot rod, medium heavy to a 7.5-foot medium heavy. You don't want a stiff broomstick. You want something with a little bit of tip. That way that fish can load up on it. Some of those days where you catch, 50, 60, 70 bass, a lot of times it's on lipless crankbaits. So you need to have a box full of lipless crankbaits. Whopper plopper. Now, unless you guys have been living under a rock, you've heard about the river to sea whopper plopper. Matter of fact, I actually bought some at the Forestwood Cup when I was up there not too long ago. You know what I paid for them? $17 at a gas station. $17 for this bait, okay? So that's why this MTB value is so amazing. Because this bait right here, I'm telling you, this is an over $10 bait. This is well over a $10 bait. All these other things in here, major, major value. So let's open this thing up and I'll tell you a little bit about a whopper plopper. A whopper plopper is another bait to cover a lot of water with. This is gonna be something you're not gonna fish, real slow and not just gonna sit around. You're gonna go down shorelines. You're gonna make long casts with this bait, go down shorelines, and let this little tail rotates around, okay? Makes a lot of commotion, and fish love it. Matter of fact, they love it so well, check this out. Oh. Look at this one. Oh my goodness, he doesn't even know he's hooked. This one doesn't even know he's hooked. Whopper plopper in the face, he's like paralyzed right now. This is one of those places that, like, whenever someone says, man, I have this pond, right?
Yeah.
Like you catch them every cast and then you go out there and it doesn't happen. This is the opposite of that. This is like real deal situations going on. Wasn't that cool? They crush this thing, okay? They eat the whopper plopper. They love it. It's a great bait. For me, I throw it a lot of times on straight braid. You can get away with that because you're moving the bait through the water the whole time. You're not stopping it. You can make a long cast with braid. If one comes up and nips it on a long cast, that braid doesn't have any stretch, so you're able to really get the hooks drove in there really good. I like to reel this on a pretty slow retrieve. The best way to describe it when I tell people on how fast or slow to reel a whopper plopper, it's like you want that noise, that little blub, 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 but you want it like the slowest it can go where it's still making that good pitch, right? Not too slow and definitely not too fast. It's like they don't bite it real good when you burn it through the water. So kind of like a slow medium retrieve. Play around with it. The best tip I can give you on a whopper plopper, and for that matter any bait, is pay attention to how fast you're reeling that bait through the water. And as you start getting bites, mimic that. That is very, very important, whether it's a swim bait, whether it's a topwater, or this whopper plopper. Pay attention to how fast you're retrieving that bait through the water column, and that's what makes those fish react. Little stickies. Spinner bait, trailer hook. That's what that is. See a spinner bait? Basically, just attach this trailer hook, poke it right through. It extends that hook out, okay? So if you're fishing on a body of water, the fish are kind of short striking, slapping at your spinnerbait, a trailer hook a lot of times is really good. You'd be surprised at how many fish you'll catch on that trailer hook. It's very important to fish a trailer hook at times. I usually will start out without a trailer hook for most of the time, just because I'm trying to throw the spinnerbait up in the thickest cover I can or as close to the cover as I can. I like to just fish it without. But if the fish are acting funny or it's game day, I'm putting a trailer hook on. Caught a lot of bonus fish on that trailer hook. So that's pretty cool stuff. That's pretty much everything that's in this box. Great value, awesome stuff. And now, like I said, we have another unboxing right now, okay? Here's what else we have. Ho, 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 ho. Bam! Saltwater, baby. MTB saltwater box. That's right. You can get freshwater box or saltwater box. Your choice. Now here's what I love about the saltwater box. There's cool stuff in here to catch some big, mean fish. Big red fish. That's right. Giant red fish. Bam! Gator Spoon. What are you gonna do with this? Well, I'm gonna throw this on a spinning rod, maybe with braid, like maybe 20, see saltwater I'm gonna fish a little bit heavier stuff, right? 20-pound braid, P-Line X braid. I'm gonna put a leader on here, might be 15, 17-pound leader, okay? You can throw it on a bait caster too. This spoon right here works great for trout, works great for redfish, works great for jacks, it works great for everything. In saltwater, something silver that flashes like this will catch a lot of fish. I am gonna put a little trailer on the back of that, whether it's just a little swim bait, whether it's a little, anything white or different color, maybe even a chartreuse grub, I'll put on the back of this spoon just to kind of give it a little bit of action. And so I will put a little trailer on the back of that. It'll catch fish just about anywhere you go saltwater fishing. That's number one. And it's weedless too. So if you're back in the grass, in the marsh grass, making this cast, it's gonna come through there really, really good. This is a double rig. Let me open it up and show you. It's really cool. This is what you're gonna catch a lot of trout on, okay? This is what I'd call like a trout rig or a redfish rig. It's a dual system, and you can rig it a couple different ways. You can, if you're in deep water, you can rig it up just the way it is, just tie it on and go. Put it on a swivel. It's a double rig, okay? So you're gonna tie to that knot right there, attach that with a little swivel, make long casts if you're in deep water, let the thing sink down a little bit, and all you do is just jig it up and down. And what happens is these are constantly moving around in different positions, and they don't get tangled up. It's pretty amazing. And it looks like a school of little minnows going by, and the trout and the redfish will jump all over that. Another way to rig this up is to put this on a big popping cork. And so it stays at a certain depth, and you can pop it through the water, okay? That's another way of doing that. So this right here works really, really good. A squid bait, okay? Now we've done a lot of saltwater fishing in the Keys, catching dolphin. Everything offshore eats squid. I even eat squid. I like this called calamari, and I love calamari. Put a little marinara sauce on there, you're good to go, my friend. How about that? Okay, I'm getting excited here because I start talking about big giant redfish, and I want to tell you, I want you to see this clip coming up. It's really good. Bam! How about that? An Excite swim bait. Let's open it up and I'll show you what's going on inside of this. Okay, here we go. Little 4-inch white swim bait. Okay, I'll go ahead and open that up. Little jig head. It's got a little screw lock on it. Here's how I'm gonna rig this. Put it on right there. Go to the bend of the hook, come down just a little bit. Make sure everything's good and straight. Come out. Now, I'm gonna twist this around the shank of the hook. Okay, look how I'm doing. Twisting it around that little screw, okay? Taking my time, pull it around and twist it, keep working it. So that screw holds that bait on there. Guys, I rigged that perfect right there, okay? Look how good and straight that is. Absolutely perfect. Now what will I do with this? Anything you want. You can cast it out there and reel it through the water column like a regular swim bait. You can let it sink down to the bottom and jig it up off the bottom. You can put it on a popping cork and jerk it through the water column on a popping cork. Matter of fact, Rob and I, okay, and Peric, we went to Louisiana last year and we did a little show and we wrecked them. That's right, on this right here on a popping cork. Check some of this stuff out. Dude, they got the big one. Oh, I got one.
Oh, he's hooked up. Oh, he's hooked up. Flip it over to the top here.
Coming at the boat. Yeah. In a minute. Uh-oh. It'll be a minute. This fight.
You want me to finish or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I threw it out there, the bobber went, don't, gone.
Are you reeling laws?
Yeah. Go.
Woo! That's a big sucker.
Okay, now I know you're wanting to get to Louisiana and you're wanting to throw this thing, and it works. Trust me. Go to Louisiana, put this bait on a popping cork and start chunking it around, and gigantic 35-inch redfish will just rip the rod out of your hand. Promise you. It's awesome. But this bait right here will catch everything. As a matter of fact, you could catch bass on this too. So that's what's a neat thing about this little box. Maybe other than the squid, you can catch bass on these things too. So if you live in an area like here in Florida where you go offshore or go to the coast in saltwater or come inside and fish freshwater, some of these things will cross over. So really cool stuff. That right there is money. Now check this thing out. I've never seen this bait before, but I know what to do with it. You're gonna wanna troll this thing for big grouper, kingfish, dolphin, whatever you wanna do. Put it on, probably wanna put it on steel leader and troll it behind the boat and see what happens. And by the way, stuff like this is expensive, okay? Look at this big dude right here. This thing will dive down pretty deep. And again, it's got the big saltwater hook, super sharp, great paint job. You can cast it as well. You could probably catch some nice grouper and things like that casting it, but I would troll this a lot, okay? So basically, guys, that is it. We did saltwater, we've done freshwater, we saw some cool fish catches, and again, MTB. Why do I like MTB? It's because of things like this. It's because of just things that I just normally would not have picked up in the store, and it's a great value. And it kind of opens my eyes up to new techniques and new baits, okay? And it's a lot of fun. There's nothing more fun than taking a new bait out that you really don't know a lot about and catching a lot of fish. So guys at MTB, you did a great job on these boxes right here. Thank you very much. And again, guys, we're gonna drop a link in the description down below. Good thing is you can cancel anytime, so it's not a big deal. Just check it out. You'll love it. I love it. I love you guys. So, hey, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna get out of here and we're gonna go, I think we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna go fishing. Maybe I'm gonna take this, go catch something real big.